Hey there, maggots. Stop what you're doing. It is meaningless. I'm here to talk to you about joining the United States Army.
Wow, that sounds like an awful idea. I'll pass.
Oh, that's a good one right there. Don't worry, maggot. You don't actually have a choice. Now let's get rid of all that hair.
Now don't worry, it will grow back. Just calm down. Anyway, hey, how are you guys doing? I hope you've been enjoying 2018 so far, because I sure haven't. So, a few months ago, I posted this little video. It's just meant to tell you guys I'd be off the internet for a while, you know, no big deal. But I didn't say where I was going, so you all theorized I was sent to prison. I suppose it's nice to see how people actually view me. But no, I was not in prison. Actually, I joined the United States Army and was sent to basic training. Are you guys surprised? Because I sure was. Here's the deal. I was born in a military family. My parents, my grandparents, my great-grandparents, my brothers, my sisters, nearly everyone I'm related to was or currently is in the military in one way or another. So naturally, when it was my turn to get my life started, my parents saw no other path of success for me than to join the Army. It worked for them, so hey, why would I get to break the mold?
If it ain't broke, keep on using it. Am I right, everyone?
Now, unfortunately, I never aspired to be in the Army. Ever since I was a wee lad, my interest in the matter was very absent, to say the least.
Guns are boring, and uniforms are stupid. I want to draw naked people.
So I know what you might be thinking.
Well, Steven, if you don't like the Army that much, why did you even join it, you big dummy?
That is a very valid question that I'm going to choose to dodge. For privacy reasons, I'm not going to give you guys all the details, but let's just say that I was put under a lot of pressure by my family, and I didn't have many other options. So I went to an Army recruiting officer. For those who don't know what that is, their job is literally to say anything they can to get you to sign on. My guy was trying really hard to make the Army sound appealing, but for me it had the opposite effect.
Hey kid, don't you know how great the Army is? You get to wear a sexy uniform. So sexy.
No thanks.
You get to shoot a rifle and throw granadas.
No thanks.
You get to learn how to kill people.
No thanks.
You get hella ripped and get all them honeys.
No thanks.
You get to become part of a team, earn a real sense of honor and personal courage by volunteering to perform a duty for a country that which you would be infinitely proud of serving. Wow.
No thanks.
You'll get a big amount of money if you join.
Well, when you put it that way, I guess I'll join. Sign me up! Okay, I just want to make it very clear that I have nothing against the Army. I've always had a violently neutral view about it, but I want to argue that the people who are in the Army should be in the Army because they want to be in the Army. They're not doing it for money or any other perk or whatever. They should be doing it because they want to serve the United States or whatever country they're part of and just be fighting for your freedom or lack thereof. So I guess you could view this video as a cautionary tale for those who joined the Army when they shouldn't. I signed my contract on the 20th of December 2017 and was sent down to South Carolina to Fort Jackson on the 16th of January 2018. Basic combat training was to last 10 weeks with no communication with the outside world except for the occasional letter. And that's what bothered me most about boot camp. I was cut off from everything I really cared about, as in my art, my friends, my family, and even myself. Because on the first day of basic training, they made it very clear there's no room for individuality in the Army. We are now part of a team, training to be warriors. Everyone's the same, everyone's equally pathetic, and if anybody's caught trying to do their own thing, well, the whole platoon pays for it. Usually by doing push-ups. The drill sergeants love to make us do push-ups. It's basically in the job description to punish us for the pettiest of reasons. Even though I wasn't thrilled to be there, I was still not going to make it worse for everyone around me. Whether or not I wanted to become a soldier didn't matter anymore, so don't go on and presume that this is a guide on how to escape the Army if you made the mistake of joining. Because I did everything I was told. I was never late to formation, my uniform was immaculate, my bunk and wall locker were always squared away, I muted my personality, and I was dead inside. You know, like the perfect soldier. Of course, now you're probably asking,
wait, so you didn't want to be there in the first place, but now you're actually trying? What the hell's wrong with you?
Well, I had something to prove to myself. See, when I was younger, I was not very athletic. All my hobbies were the indoor types, and I was quickly bullied for being a wimp, a runt, or a weakling. So boot camp gave me a chance to prove everybody wrong, so Steven would become big and strong. I conquered Victory Tower, I made it through the obstacle course, and I survived the gas chamber. Unfortunately, It turned out I was pushing myself a little too hard. One morning, we had a 3-mile run to train us for the PT test. I ran the whole thing without stopping or slowing down, really pushing myself. And about 2 minutes after reaching the finish line, I just blacked out and crashed straight to the ground. That was a red flag that I completely ignored. I just got back up, drank water, and was sent back to training. About a week or two after that, I was just standing in line, ready to retrieve our weapons, when I started coughing so violently that I didn't even have a chance to inhale anymore. I fell to my knees, unable to move or breathe. When my senior drill sergeant came over, I wasn't even able to speak words to tell him what was wrong. He asked me if I wanted him to call an ambulance, but I shook my head no because I thought that was overkill. 10 minutes pass and I'm doing way worse, so he comes back and tells me to hop in the van because he's going to drive me to the hospital. At that point, it's an order, so I didn't have much of a choice. When I got to the hospital, they did a bunch of checks to see if I had a viral infection. They even x-rayed my chest to see if I had pneumonia. But since they couldn't find anything, they just slapped me with a narcotic, sent me to bed, and the next thing I know, it's the morning and I'm doing an asthma test. I'm thinking, there's no way I'm gonna fail this. No one in my family has asthma. This is gonna be a piece of cake.
5 minutes later.
Oh man, I'm sorry to tell you this, soldier, but you got asthma.
Well, that's a new one. I was genuinely surprised because I couldn't tell I had failed the test until they actually told me. Kind of caught off guard because later that day I found out that meant I was disqualified from being in the army at all, which meant I was going to get a discharge and be sent back home, which meant that I wasted a whole bunch of my time. On the surface I should have been happy, but after all I had been through, this is how it was going to end? I was giving an honest try, meeting all the requirements, only to be told that my body sucks, I'm a pathetic excuse for a human being, so I guess GTFO. When I came to terms with being discharged, it was kind of bittersweet. But at least I was going home, so I was very excited to be a civilian again, which is not a sentence I ever thought I'd utter in my life. But unfortunately, my stay at Fort Jackson did not end so quickly. Far from it. I'd be stuck there for another 3 weeks, 2 of which would be among the worst weeks of my life. I was now a non-trainee, which meant I'd still get paid by the army until I left Fort Jackson. The first week was okay. I was still with my unit, and the only bad thing was how boring and depressing it got just standing around while everybody else was training. When all the paperwork was done at my company, I was briefed by the commander and sent to RHU, which stands for Reception Holding Unit. No matter the reason, if you are there, that means you're getting sent home, which I thought was good because that meant the drill sergeants should be more relaxed over there. But boy, was I wrong. RHU is probably the last place you want to be in Fort Jackson. I was naive and thought that the only people sent there were those who were getting out for a medical reason. But no. We were mixed in with those who were getting out for a disciplinary reason, as in they committed a crime or broke the rules in a way they're kicking you out of the army for it. We lived in garbage conditions because to the army, we were garbage. Garbage they had to get rid of. To paint a picture, RHU is kind of like a mental asylum. I had no idea when I was going to get out, everybody around me was absolutely crazy, and all I could do was wait around until the drill sergeants decided to get off their asses and move my paperwork forward. You could never know if anything was getting done unless you actually asked them. But even if you did, they just told you to shut up and turn around. Like this one kid had freaking cancer and I was trying to get home as soon as possible to start his treatment, but when he asked, the drill sergeant literally just told him,
"You know, people die every day. You're nothing special. Now get lost."
I understood in basic training why we had to go through so much crap. They were trying to get us ready for war. But here, we're being sent home. Why were they treating us like animals? The only way this was different than prison is that we were getting paid. We're getting paid peanuts, but at least we were getting paid. Then again, prisoners have the right to phone calls and family visits, whereas in RHU, we got nothing besides the right to be yelled at. I could go on and on how shady RHU was, like, Fort Jackson was literally under investigation for not sending people home when they were supposed to. I consider myself lucky knowing that getting hit with a metal pipe was the worst thing that happened to me while I was there. Well, that and walking in on a few things I wish I'd never seen. Like the type of gross thing you'd only find on the internet, but I got to see it live. I was eventually sent home. I kind of had a breakdown at the airport when the lady gave me my ticket, smiled, and told me to have a nice day, because that was the nicest thing anyone said to me in a long time. So that ends this video. I know it's not my usual French pineapple comedy, so I might make a follow-up video focusing on the more interesting experiences that happened at the army. Like that time I started a business in the black market. I don't know, we'll see. So don't forget to click that subscribe button if you want to stay tuned. With that said, per aspera ad astra. That's Latin for through hardship to the stars, which kind of applies to what I've been through, so it's my new favorite saying now. Okay, bye. This is the longest video I've ever had to animate. Oh my god, this is so hard. Hey, Steven again. I just wanted to point out the moral of this story, which is not that the army sucks, but that if you go to basic training, make sure that you medically qualify beforehand and don't get kicked out. Because if you do, you get sent to RHU, and that's what sucks. The Army itself, I guess, is still okay, somewhat. I don't know, I haven't checked, I haven't gotten a chance to be in the real Army. All I had to suffer through was basic training. So, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like the video, share it if you think there's something worthy about it. And also, thank you to Rushlight Invader for voicing that recruiting officer guy at the beginning of the video. He's a good friend, and I really like his Mr. Chicken voice, as he calls that character. And with that said, I will see you next time. Bye-bye!